She never done anything like this before, but them size 8s demand more. Images of fame playing in her mind, it seems. Watching them fast girls on TV. Seems like she always has something to do. Chatting all the time with some new dude. Familiar surroundings left her wanting more, but baby girl don't know what's outside her door. Slow down, baby, don't go too fast. The sandbox you playing in ain't gonna last. Slow down, honey, hear what I say. You're growing up too fast and headed down the wrong way. You're everything you said that you wanted to be. Young, independent, with your own money. Selling seduction, giving up your soul. Life in the fast lane can take its toll. I really don't mean to condescend by saying out loud what I'm thinking. Them very same friends that you hang around will be the same ones that'll drag you down. Slow down, baby, don't go too fast. The sandbox you playing in ain't gonna last. Slow down, honey, hear what I say. You're growing up too fast and headed down the wrong way. Don't want
And how's everyone going? Welcome to the show.
G'day.
How you going, Brett? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
We just cogged it in, you know. So it's incredible how much stuff is actually going on in the background, and no one actually really sees that, you know. It's just sort of like 6 o'clock start, and we're going. But in reality,
Yeah.
we've been at this for like a couple of hours already now. So yeah. So what have we got in here? We've got Steve. How you going, Steve? And Lauren is here. Who else have we got in here in the shop? You know, so there's a few people still coming in the background, and yeah, we're just doing a bit of pre-show. How was your week, Brett?
Yeah, quiet. Not enough rain though. So
I can't believe you had not enough rain. I mean, it was just absolutely storming here. Like, it was just, you know,
it just misses us every time, you know. Like, yeah. Hazza, how you going? And Tabby.
yeah, it was just complete craziness here.
Yeah.
Like the rain and everything that we had here was just,
Yeah.
cold, you know. Quite incredible.
So those are getting the storms. Good on ya. Yeah. Glad to see some rain falling. No, but yeah.
How you going, Riz? And Azza, how you going, mate? Oh god, storm, what storm? Good one.
Look, I really hope...
sent you the video of that, Brett. You know, so you can see it.
Yeah. I'm hoping that Montville got some rain, some really good rain. It looks like they're getting rain now, apparently. So, because I'll be up there next.
Well, you can
Thursday.
do some waterfalls. I mean, yeah, you might want to check out that whole area. At least it's going to green up if it's been raining. You know, so you got some nice color. So that would be really nice. So what else has everybody been up to? Well, there was the AFL last night, and the football final, and good on you. Like Richmond won against Geelong. No one wants to know about this. It's very Melbourne centric, you know, like when it comes to AFL, Australian football. Barry, how you going? Barry Street is in. How you going? Yeah, so Brett, should we make a start? Hey, I'll just get ourselves into the right mode, and we'll go into the live show after this video, guys. So hold on to your seats. I mean, I've been doing a few changes here and all that, so I'm just sort of like getting my directions right. But yeah, Brett. So let's get into it. We've got a lot to talk about. So here we are, back to the live show. How's everyone going? We're back. If anyone is on here that can actually maybe just tell us and let us know about the how the audio is going, because we can see video and we know what that looks like. But yeah, again, it's always the audio that we're worried about. So how's everyone today? It's just been a...
How's Michelle? How are you, Michelle? Yeah.
Been a bit of a strange weekend. I think everyone has been fostered out to politicians right now, Brett, and all these elections that are going on, you know, whether it be internationally or over here. And it's just, yeah, I mean, we're doing our state elections, and yeah, everyone is just talking about that. So, and everyone is forgetting about COVID virus. This is nuts.
It seems like Michelle and Lauren having their internet keeps dropping out, and I don't blame you. I have been having that all week.
Yeah, no problems. But I mean, I'm keeping an eye on the actual the health on YouTube, and it seems to be okay. So it's if anyone's having problems right now, it's probably coming from your side, guys. I'm very sorry about that. Yeah, and again, you know, like, I mean, we've been having this terrible weather over the weekend, and it seemed to clear up for the AFL football, and not many people got to see what the storms that we had. So Queensland has got really great weather at the moment, but we're just going through the rain season. So this is how it is at the moment. But it's good for the earth. Water is always important. Yeah, so
especially waterfall.
Yeah, talking about waterfall, you're going to be doing a workshop, and we'll get into that, and we do the announcement afterwards.
Yep.
Brett. And for people that have not seen it yet, Brett is doing a workshop via Camerahouse?
Yeah, Camerahouse, Maroochydore. Yeah.
Maroochydore, and it's going to be held in Mullaney. And it entails an overnight stay, etc. But all the details are usually in our groups, and we'll be talking about this a little bit, just to spruik it and let people understand what it's all about.
Yep.
And okay,
Yeah,
so Lauren is saying, "Oh, my issues are my own," so never fear.
And all the people that went to the Photowalk, Mount Tambourine, have we recovered and so forth from that weekend, that Sunday?
I think that's unrecoverable. I think all the people that went came back with really nice memories, and they actually got some interesting shots. And from what we could tell and what I could see in the group, it's been interesting, really nice. I might actually go into the chat. Yeah, I'm just going to be testing something, guys, and just clicking over to the chat scene. So let us know what you guys think. This is sort of like the live chat, and we can sort of look at the screen now directly and see what's happening there. So
Lauren, Rick said, "Oh, looking go back
Tuesday."
Yeah,
my friend enjoyed herself. Yeah, the workshop at the Osprey House. That sounds interesting. I've got to get some details about some of these places where you can actually go to and do some shooting from a hide. Yeah. So for the guys, for the people who don't know what a hide is, it's basically just it's a hiding spot, and it could be either a personal hide where you actually just got camouflage on or whatever, and it can also be like a complete full-size room that's actually been dug out, and it's actually just ground level, so you're going to be shooting from ground level. So it's really interesting, some of these hides and how complex they are. What else has been happening with you guys? It's just been a bit quiet here, that's all.
Well, it's been 2 weeks since we've been live, so
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
if anybody had something fantastic news or did something and went somewhere and got some good photographs and stuff, let us know.
Yeah,
so
and of course we've got artistic review going on today again.
Yep,
and
that's right.
Also well, how about we go into the news, Brett? I can always flash back to this now that I know that this live chat screen works. That's pretty good. We can always flash back and forth. And well, how about if I just want to quickly just get all these things behind us and just talk about the our Facebook groups, of course, and like what most people here already know, we've got 2 groups. Brett is the administrator for Sony Alpha Brisbane, and I'm the administrator for Photographers Collective. I always get that wrong. And if anyone wants to join, we welcome you, and come and have a look and see what we got to offer. There are some restrictions on Brett's side of you got to be living in Queensland. There's just a few little caveats there. And
unfortunately,
it's a nice these are nice, interesting groups, and come and have a look. And Lauren is currently sorting out sunset shots. Yeah,
the Docklands in Melbourne.
Yeah, I mean, you are allowed to go out now, and in earnest, you can travolt around a bit. I think there's only been overnight some 7 new cases down in Victoria.
Yeah, there's
So-
been a U1 U cluster or something. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
It
You know,
seems like
so-
they're on top of it. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's in actually Melbourne. It's outside Melbourne, I believe. But
I think it's sort of like on a these cases are sort of already existent clusters from
Yep.
existing clusters and all that. So,
yeah,
well, look, I mean, I wish Victorians all the best, and let's hope we can open up this this shop altogether. You know, we can travel again. You know, like it's
yeah,
we're waiting for people, you know, overseas and all that. I mean, overseas it seems to be really bad. In where is it? In Brussels, Belgium, sorry, and France as well, and England, and of course over in America, they've already got 500,000 people that have died from this. So it's yeah, it is terrible over there at the moment still, and they're going for the second and third waves. Yeah, so I should just bring up the workshops and photo walks that we do. Of course, we had our last photo walk last Sunday. Last weekend, and everyone enjoyed that. And unfortunately, we were hoping there were actually more people coming, but ended up just being a manageable, a nice group.
I think we had about 12 overall.
12 people.
So,
yeah. So, and it was fun, and we had one of our moderators. He had just concluded his black belt in karate, and so he got all dressed up and was performing for us in the Japanese garden section in the botanical gardens, which was really good for us to shoot. So good on you, Mike, if you are in here, and Mike Palmer. Congratulations again. Yeah. And what else have we got? Yeah, I mean, again, we offer workshops, and we also do one-on-one workshops, and that's what we want to talk about just quickly. We do one-on-one workshops where you have got the choice of what you want to do with us, and we are very flexible in that. So we don't necessarily advertise the one-on-one workshops, and you have to contact us individually and discuss your needs with us, so we can work out exactly what sort of, you know, how we can actually help you and how we can work around that, and set dates, etc. So it's all really up to you.
Until we can, until next year, when things settle down again, and people are not so scared to go out, and we'll open up some workshops and like portraits and landscapes and stuff like that, and lighting, and so we'll start organising that. But once again, it really depends on COVID-19 and how everybody's doing. So
yeah, unfortunately, I'm just trying to bring up your workshop too, Brett, and bear with me for a second here.
Yep.
It's really crunching down. It's really slow, so I don't know. It's got something to do with the weather that we've had here, or okay, so that's working. It's working its way through. Okay, so how about we go into news, Brett?
Yep, we can do that.
Yeah. And Lauren is still having problems with her phone dropping out. Technically still not allowed to, but as long as possible, aren't being idiots, the phone probably, so allowing it. Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, they need to be more reasonable about what's actually going on, and how to deal with all that. Now, I'm just going to do a screen share here, Brett, and I can then bring up your... let me see if this works. Here we go. Okay, Brett, I'll just let you just chat about this quickly.
Yeah.
This is your workshop.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. On the other one, I don't know if you can display the other one there. The
link.
Yeah. Well, it's not. Well, you can probably see if you can go to the
I've
link.
just brought it up. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. that'll give you a lot more information to people on the screen and so forth. But anyhow, this is going to be a workshop that's Garrick's Camerahouse Maroochydore is going to present, and it's going to be hosted by Sony as well, and with a Sony rep and 3 Sony digital advocates as well. There will be like 3 workshops, 1 landscape, scenery, there'll be food, and weddings and couples on the 2 days. So there will be 2 days event. I think it's 1 night accommodation at the Spices something.
Spices up in Melania,
Yeah.
it's really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's like a, what is it, 4-star or 5-star or something like that.
Yeah,
it's really
5
nice.
star.
I mean, food
I
is
believe
provided
it's
there as
actually,
well.
it's not Mulaney, it's just trying to think of the other word, the main, can't think of the name at the moment, but yeah, it's near Mulaney's a bit further down.
Okay.
So
yeah.
if anybody can tell me, it's in the main Montville. Yeah. So near Montville, anyhow, so it'll be up on this Spices resort, and you'll get accommodation, you'll get free meal, your meals there, and I think at dinner time you'll get a 3-course meal. I think it's French. Le cuisine, I think that is.
So it's going to be yourself as the
Actually,
advocate, as a Sony advocate, and then there's going to be Craig Turnbull, and also the new advocate for Queensland here as well. It's her name Lani Carter. Okay, so yeah, and she'll be welcome there as well. So you are going to be doing landscape, the landscape section, and then Craig Turnbull is going to be doing like a food photography section. Yeah,
like food, commercial style sort of. Yep.
Right, and Lani Carter will do wedding. Be doing some covering
couples,
some wedding.
Couples. Sort of. Yep.
Okay. Lifestyle shooting. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's obviously other things like there'll be other things too. I'm not sure what the discounts involve in, but there'll be obviously discounts and offers and stuff like that during the workshop and so forth. So but it'll be a great experience. It's not initially about photography itself. It's really more for those who are still in the DSLR cameras, and they're wanting to go a mirrorless format situation, and this is where we'll get an opportunity to see all the lenses and cameras and everything, and have a go as well. And
it could end up being really interesting for people that are leaning towards that way and want to do some lens testing, etc., and get a bit of a steep learning curve. This goes over. I think it starts at 3 p.m. on the first day and ends at about 5 p.m. the next day.
The 11th and 12th, November.
Yeah.
So,
for anyone interested, maybe you just want to drop the link into the comment box there, Brett, for people so they can easily get into it without dropping out. or the other way, I can always leave that in the comment box after the show. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
So, guys,
so there you go. There's only a very limited people. I think there's only about 15, 20 max. And so if you're wanting to go, make sure you book, because if people are going to jump on this for other reasons, I would do it. Because you're going to get a lot.
Chris is just saying this is where I'm hoping it's a different weekend on the into the workshop, but well, this is not being held on a weekend, Chris. This is
No, this is
being held on a
yeah,
Wednesday to Thursday.
midweek. Yeah,
Midweek.
midweek.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about we get into the news, Brett? And I'm not gonna dwell on things for too long.
With news. Yeah.
Yeah. So the first section in the news is I'm just keeping an eye on our sound levels and just making sure everything's okay. Okay, so this one here is just the first part of news where, look, Canon is just, yeah, it's incredible what they actually are bringing out, like 250 megapixel sensor, but this sensor is actually not full frame sensor. It's not for a full frame camera. There's actually a crop sensor. So it's quite incredible what they just imagine they'll bring out a full frame sensor, what size that's going to be. So they are not talking about exactly where this sensor is going to go into, where it's going to shoot on into, but I would say it will be in the high-end video cameras, you know, the video-centric professional cameras, I think, more so. But it's yeah, quite an interesting right up here. Sorry? What's up, Brett? You're dropping out again, are you?
Yeah, having technical issues.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, like I should mention to people that there's probably going to be problems when Brett is going to be dropping out, and it's just happened again. Brett has just dropped out, so I'm just going to wait for him to call in again, and we can go ahead with the news anyway. It's not going to matter too much, but yeah, anyone that wants to know more about this, it's going to be in the comment section after the show. I'm going to paste all that in. Now with the next news, this is also interesting that Sony is working on a Fresnel, on the Fresnel technology. Now, what that means, really, in layman's terms, is that you will be able to, once this technology comes through, and there are Fresnel centric lenses out there, you will be experiencing lighter and smaller lenses without any loss of anything else. So it's quite interesting as well. So this is being taunted as a new thing that's coming up, and there is the new technology, and it's been, you know, like it's one of those up and coming things in the future. Nikon has got the 500 and 300 mil currently. That's actually made from made smaller via this Fresnel technology, and you can read all about it again, as we say. And Michelle is leaving us. Okay, have dinner. Good on you, Michelle. Okay, and Brett has obviously put in the link for the actual workshop that he's actually doing there with Camerahouse, and and Riz is saying hi, Michelle. Bye, Michelle. I'm sure she's going to come back, you know, one of these days. It'll be fine. Okay, so let's go on to the next news, because I just want to sort of just quickly spiel through all these, and we can get the news out of the way. But there is nevertheless interesting stuff happening. Like everyone knows already, Photoshop and Lightroom have been updated in the latest software firmware update, and it's gone more and more. It's going more and more centric towards AI. And again, Topaz has Topaz software. The Gigapixel AI has also been updated to version 5.2, and you can again read all about what is in there. It just seems like every software manufacturer now is bringing out their updates. And again, Capture One version 21 is being taunted as ready to come up again, and there's going to be a discount via a code, and you can have a look at this and see what is out there for you. It does not actually specifically say what the update is exactly, but it's going to be just much more of the same as what the other manufacturers are doing, and it's just going to be much more AI centric again. And Lauren just says that she likes Topaz. They make some good stuff. Yes, that's right, Lauren. And I mean, Topaz is really well known for getting rid of noise, etc. Okay, so Brett's just been telling me that he's reconnecting up again, so I'm just going to wait for him to call in. Okay, so so again, this is going to be in the comment boxes, and you can just sort of stroll through it and see what you think. Now the other, this is an interesting story as well. I mean, I don't want to go too political about things, but apparently the official photographer for Joe Biden, his name is Adam Schultz, and Adam is a Sony shooter. Good on you, Adam. And his choice of weapon here is interesting. He's got three A9 II bodies that he shoots with, so he covers all his lenses without having to swap out the lenses, because journalistic work is always like that, where you don't have time to swap out lenses, so you carry extra cameras with you. So another interesting story, and it's good to see that journalism is picking up on Sony cameras now. So let's hope all that works out really well for him, and I'm sure you would have a smile on his face if you wouldn't have a mask on. Yeah, and Steve, you are right. Sony and Apple are working together on a new focusing system, which is interesting as well. I didn't want to sort of bring it up because it's very early days, but it's so it's just another improvement on our already existing good focusing system. So let's just wait and see what happens in the future. There's going to be a lot of gained interest there with Apple and Sony working together. The new chipsets with that silicon chipset. That's going to be really interesting. Yeah, and here is Brett back again. Hey, I'm Brett.
Hey, back.
Long time no see. Okay, so I've been trailing for the news here. So we're already at the new rumor of the Sigma 200mm, the F2, which is an interesting one, So so that's going to be released early 2021, they're saying. But that's going to be one honking lens, isn't it? It's going to be huge.
I'm saying that you're talking about the Fresnel, Fresnel.
The Fresnel, yeah.
That's interesting. So,
yeah, that's an interesting tech that's coming up, but I think it's sort of like it's going to be a while before they actually bring all this up. Sorry, where is it?
But anyhow,
there you go. So that's the new Fresnel
okay,
there.
see you, Michelle.
But just keep an eye on that, guys. I mean, again, this is all futuristic and future determining stuff, but it's not right now. We there's no time frame for any of this, and there's talk about it. I mean, I don't know if you remember, Brett, like about a year and a half or so ago, there was something that came up, and they were talking about the 100 or 105mm Sony, and that has not come out yet, so it can take a while. Yeah, and
am I getting video from you, because I don't see it in the playback? So yeah.
Oh yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, everything's here.
No.
Okay, so
anyhow, yeah.
The again, the Sigma 200mm f2 reminds me a lot about the Nikon. Nikon has actually got a really well-known 200mm f2 lens. And it's when you see that lens, it's a big honking lens. I mean, you can already see in the graph, you can actually just see how big the front lens is. I mean, it's just going to be one big chunky piece of glass, and the cost for this is going to be, it'll be high. It'll be prohibitive for an end user. It's going to be more pro level stuff, but it's going to be one amazing lens. But again, you got to work out what you're going to do with a 200mm f2. I mean, how often will you be using this? You know, and in what conditions?
Specialist lens, not the 135.
Yeah, specialist lens. I mean, I know the movie photographer, on-set photographer Jason Boland. He's got a 200 f2. Jason Boland is really well known for like the posters that you see of the Matrix and Mad Max and all these sort of amazing, Mulan as well, you know, the latest Mulan movie. All those images that you can think about, they actually shot by him. And yeah, he always talks about the Nikon 200 f2.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm not going to dwell on this much longer, but it's it seems like we're getting a bucket load of new lenses coming soon. You know, I think 2021 is just going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And this is saying apparently the Sony 300 2.8 is nice. I don't know, haven't used it yet. Okay, so that's the A mount lens. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
There is
again,
talk. There is rumors about there are another 2 lenses coming out soon too.
yeah.
So, it could be very interesting what's coming out. So,
Can it ever? Like I just don't. I mean, when I think about all the lenses that have come out this year, you know, from the non-Sony, but by Tamron, by Sigma, and by all the other manufacturers out there, it's, I mean, we're getting some serious gear, you know. So it's the choices. Right. We're just going to be peppered with choices left, right, and center. Okay,
yeah.
And again, here is another software that's being launched again. DxO is launching Photolab version 4, and again, it's going to be another. Again, they're saying it's going to be revolutionary demosaicing and denoising technology. So again, we're going to be spoilt with choice for AI and noise reduction. Again, as I said, it's going to be hard to choose which software you're going to be paying for these days, and where you're going to be sitting. And you know, Brett, I use a lot now Capture 120, and I'm starting to love that much more than what I'm using Lightroom now. So, but now Lightroom has been updated, and I had a look at that, and you did too.
Yeah.
What do you think of Lightroom now with the?
Well, with Lightroom now, thank God they boosted the speed and the performance.
It's got color grading as well. Yes.
The color grading, yes. It looks like similar to what Capture One has. The color grading wheels and so forth. It's got a few other features in the zoom sort of thing as well. You can zoom into your image. I haven't sort of really looked into that. Plus the Photoshop now, you can do the AI, putting smiles on their faces and turning their heads and all that sort of stuff, and doing frequency separation sort of AI without having to do all the layers and all that. So I tried that out. That's pretty good, but it's not 100%. It's a lot more work yet before this AI ever gets anywhere close to what we do for retouching and so forth.
Yeah, I mean, it's a start. You know, that's what I'm looking at, and it's you can now see that everyone is going in that direction. I mean, it's so good apparently that you can someone with a normal face, you can give them a smile and even show their teeth, even if they've got a closed mouth.
Yeah.
Which is quite amazing, you know, only a few steps and you can actually just create that, which is it's mind-boggling what they can do now.
Well, I tried that feature out, gave them a smile where they're showing teeth, where in my image there was no teeth at all. The first one was
they lost the teeth.
First one was a bit of a shocker because when they showed the teeth, it looked like they had a problem with their teeth, like they haven't been brushed for bloody years and years. And I'm going, really? Like,
I mean, this is all sort of like new technology, and they'll be updating that, and it's going to get better and better.
And sure. It's all, but all those sort of features now. It's in a better, in beta
version,
beta version. So it means it's not the final things, and that they're still working through progress on that. And there's many other features in there as well. But it's not in the beta version at the moment. There are things to come when they get the major overhaul and fixing up bugs and stuff like that, I suppose. Yeah.
Now, the other thing that we were going to talk about, we want to just put a like what we did last in the last show. We focused on a particular lens, which was the 70 to 200 f2, and this time around we're doing pretty much the same, where we actually are doing a quick focus on a long-term usage lens that Brett and I now had for. I'm not sure how long you had yours, Brett, but I bought mine shortly after you bought yours. And we've been shooting with this for quite some time now, and now
it's getting on about 9 months, 10 months now, I think.
Now, guys, don't get too excited about the price, guys. This is a US price from B&H, and I'm just bringing this up so we can just roll through the image set, and as you can see, you've got an aperture ring on this lens that is declickable as well. So you got a click on off switch on the side there on the bottom, and obviously there are other bits and pieces where you can. So it's got the focusing hold buttons again, which is fairly normal these days on Sony lenses, especially the GM lenses.
Yeah.
And you got the AF, MF on or off, and then you got full distance and close-up distance switches, and I mean. Guys, this is being a 135 f1.8. This is not just a very light lens. This is actually a fairly heavy lens. It's got some heft on it, but what do you think about this lens, Brett? I'm just going to bring up the specs while we're talking.
Well, as everybody knows me, this is my best lens ever. It's one of the best lenses I just cannot put down in sharpness, terms of bokeh, fast, accurate focusing, spot on, beautiful color renderation and separation when you're doing portraits and so forth. It is a very specialist lens, but that doesn't stop me from just using it as a portraiture. Yes, it's a bit of a if you're doing full body portraiture, yes, you have to stand back a fair bit distance, but I mean,
I mean,
I've taken
this
those.
lens got a lot of awards, etc.
Oh
already
yeah,
this year. And,
best lens of the year.
best lens of the year.
2019.
It's
Yeah.
it's probably one of the
Mm.
fastest focusing and the sharpest lens that out there in the Sony
Yep.
cupboard. Now it's maximum aperture is f1.8, minimum is f22, and also the you got 11 blades on the on the diaphragm for the aperture, so you'll have you'll get you can create some beautiful star looks on the lights.
Yep.
And it's got 13 elements and 10 groups, and yeah, it's just a very it's just an amazing lens. It's just the 135 mil.
Yeah.
That's what
Can you
has
go
me.
back to the price on the B&H page there? Because I'm looking at the Sony store price, and there's something very odd. What's
Are
it
we
saying?
finally getting something cheaper than the Americans?
Well, what's it got in BH? I can't see what on
Okay, so this is the
screen's about
overview.
like 10 seconds delay here.
Okay, I got to scroll. So it's $2,098. That's
Okay.
US. Yeah.
At the moment, the Australian is AU is 2,799.
Yeah.
So
So it's pretty.
not very far off.
I think the pricing that they actually always show here with American pricing is this is all pre-tax, isn't it?
Yeah.
Never 100% sure about that, but usually in America they don't show you the GST price. They just add that on afterwards at checkout. Yeah. Have we lost you again, Brett? Yes, we have. so there we go. So Brett is out again. And I think I just got to do the right thing and basically hang up on him so he can dial me back. So dial me back as soon as you can, Brett. Okay, so guys, if you've got any questions about the 135, then please do let me know. And yeah, as you said, Riss, you know, the 105 lens is yeah, the A mount lens, which is a macro lens, isn't it? It's really nice to have as well. And for people that don't know, the Sony does have an FE mount or full frame mount lens that is set at, it's a 100mm lens, but it's an STF lens, and the aperture on that is rated at I think it's 5.6, so it's not really a good enough lens to let a lot of light in. So it because it creates a beautiful bokeh, and because of that lens element that they've got inside that lens, it darkens the actual lens. But nevertheless, I mean, for studio work, etc., it's just beautiful. Yeah, so there you go. So Steve is just saying they've got a used price at going around $1,677. So it's one of those considerations that you want to think about. Obviously, you know, it is a 1.8, and the bokeh of it is just quite amazing. I took an image, and I might just bring that up so we can actually have a quick look at it. Okay, so let me bring this picture up. And I just shot this the other day, and this was done with the 135 f1.8. And there you can just roughly see what this lens is capable of. I would not turn around and say this is the lens for wildlife photography, but yep, you can do it. It's possible. Obviously this was shot with the A9, and I did crop it in a fair bit, but nevertheless it is quite doable. I've got a few more frames here, and we're waiting for Brett to call through. And again, you'll see on the side how much I've actually cropped all this in. I might just move Brett and myself here. Just move that a little bit, and bring up the actual sidebar again, so you can just sort of get an idea of how much this was actually cropped in. And Brett's back again. How you going, Brett?
Can I say the F word?
No, we don't use F words here, but it is what it is. It just happens. I'm just talking about the 135, and I just brought up a few images for the for people to see what this lens is capable of doing. And this was just basically, I was there for maybe a couple of hours, and we just got lucky that there were kite surfers and
Good evening, John.
and ospreys there as well. So at the same time, so we and you will see I've got a sequence of birds here. I don't know if they will sharpen up fairly fast. So this is a sequence, so you can see how much I actually did crop in with the A9.
Yeah.
And they were sort of, I don't know, I don't know what they were actually doing up in the sky, but they were actually fighting with each other or getting into each other's feathers, should I say. So I don't know if that was sort of like a brotherly sort of play or what it was, but they at times they were really getting into each other and really. So the 135, as you can see, Brett, it's just a bit short for getting these birds. So you might have been better off doing the shooting with the like a 70 to 200 or but again, you know, being a 1.8, I was able to get enough light on these, you know, which is essential.
Yep. Yeah.
I mean, this goes on a little bit, but again, I was maybe 50, maybe 100 meters away from this kite surfer, and you can just sort of see what this lens can do. I mean, it's the images are super sharp, and there are no problems with gaining all this into it. Like if you had the 135 on the A7R4 at 61 megapixels, you could just crop at will and just go crazy. I mean, I just shot these with the A9, as you can see there. You know, so but it's it's all doable. And John, how you going? Sorry, I didn't say hello yet. I was just sort of busy just talking about this stuff. But
the 135 it's a stunning lens. It handles really well in all sorts of genre and so forth. Like that shot I took of the frog and Tambourine Mountain and the botanical gardens, and I've framed the frog up in its environment on a leaf that's got the water droplets and that, and the detail that you can just pull out of this tiny little frog, in amongst all this green leaf and everything, it's quite remarkable. So, it's just a stun of a lens. So,
it's great. I mean, it's just a little bit too short for sports, and it's a little bit too long for model shooting. Like if you got a studio, you would have to have a fairly large studio, like a warehouse type studio, to be able to handle that lens and actually be far enough away. You've got to be far enough away with this lens, and it's quite for if you use it for the first time, it's quite astonishing how far away you have to be away from the model to get it. But if you can get it, and you get the separation from the background and the compression, it's quite stunning what you can gain on this lens.
Once you get used to this lens, it's a lens that if you've never used it before, you've got to get used to it. It's like all prime lenses, you've got to get used to it, because you can't zoom in like a zoom lens. You've got to put your feet in and out. But when you do want that extra reach, you can obviously crop in any of the cameras, but at least with the R4, you can just stay at your full frame and then crop in later
Yeah,
in post.
exactly. Yeah.
I always find, yes, I can crop in camera on my A7 III, but if you really thinking about a tight portraiture, the more you crop on a 24 megabyte camera, well, that's not so much of an issue. I can pretty much crop on a 24 megapixel camera pretty heavily, but if you crop in camera at 10.8 megabyte, well, that's a different story. It starts to fall apart. So
I mean, this lens weighs 950 grams, so it's almost a kilo of lens, and then you got the camera body as well. So this is not sort of like a not a very easy lens to walk around with. You know, like it is hefty, and it's 135 1.8. So it is just, you know, you got to find your balance where you know, like it's a trade-off. If you want a very fast prime lens, you can't ask for something very lightweight. You know, like it's rare that it happens, and it depends on the actual focal distance that this lens has got. If it's at 135, they're very hard to actually manufacture and make light, whereby like an 85mm 1.8, Sony has got that, and it's very lightweight. It's just, I mean, it's almost a joke when you hold that in your hand. It's a very light lens. So it just goes to show you that every focal distance has got different weights in it as well. So they need different kinds of glass to actually make that happen. Yeah.
Well, the minimum focusing on the 135 is 0.7 meters. That's 2.3 feet. Yep. So it's not exactly close, obviously due to its focal length. But that's not too bad, you know.
Yeah, it is still still doable. And you can, again, you know, if you got a A7R4 or something like that to actually crop in, you know, that's it's pretty good.
Yeah.
And Steve just says I photograph a lot of sports, and he uses the 100-400. Yeah. I mean, I've got the 200-600, and
not much.
I've got to be honest about the 200-600. I've got focusing problems when it sits on the A7R4, and I don't know why. It needs a firmware update. And it's fairly known. A lot of people know about this issue. Like, it just doesn't want to grab focus for a split second, and then if you're doing wildlife, birding, etc., it's a problem. Whereby if it's on the A9, I don't have any problems with it. So I don't know. Maybe something will be done very soon about that.
Yeah. And we were talking about this the other day too. Yeah. So I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I can't turn around and say that that lens combination is perfect. It needs some work yet. And I don't know if it's the camera or the lens.
Well, John just said Stuart Jones sent his back with that focusing issue.
Yeah.
So, and as you just said, you've heard this is becoming a known issue with that particular lens. Is it an issue with that particular lens, or just with the R4?
I think it's I think the problem must be lying in the R4, because when I put the A9 camera on that lens, I don't get that problem at all.
Yeah.
So it must have something to do with the A7R4. Maybe they can bring out a firmware and solve this problem. I'm sure there is a way out of it, and the sooner the better, because I mean, there's been a lot of people that have invested in this lens, and this combination is not cheap. When you think about it, you're talking around $10,000 for a lens and a camera.
Yep, that's right.
So,
yeah. Well, hopefully there will be some sort of update, and I'm hoping it's not just going to be an update for the R4, but the A7 III and the R3 they're all
Yeah,
good.
I've never heard anyone saying anything about the A7 III combination with the 200 and 600. Not sure.
Yeah.
But again, if you put the 135 1.8 on the A7R4, there's no problems at all. I mean, it's beautiful. Works fine.
Yeah.
So it's just happens to be that one lens that's giving us issues.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure about you, Steve. You don't have the A7R4 for the 100 to 400. I wonder if it's
No.
how that works.
Sadly.
With that lens. Yeah.
Sadly, but yeah.
Okay. Now, where were we? Okay. How about we go into CC now, Brett? Or did you want to? You didn't want to do anything in Lightroom. I mean, it's
No,
with
I'm
your
not going to
internet
take
sort of.
risks, guys. And I'm pretty sure by Monday when a Telstra technician is going to cop in the air for Monday. So yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, you got a technician
not
coming on
that-
Monday. Yeah, for your internet connection.
Yeah.
And there you go. So John just said the A7R4 works fine for 100 to 400. Okay, so there's no problems there.
Yeah. Look, there must. It's obviously there needs to be a firmware update for that lens. I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a official update for that lens yet. So yeah, I don't know. But see
I
what
mean,
happens.
I had a the other day I went to a koala sanctuary walk, which is near Serame wineries here, and there were kookaburras there on the branch, and I had spot focusing on with the A7R4 and the 200-600, and it just would not focus. It just it was blurred. It like 2 to 3 seconds before it would actually sharpen up. And so yeah, I got no idea why. And that was spot focus, continuous spot focus. Now I will. I'm just going to bring up the review, the artistic review images, Brett.
Yep.
Okay, let's have a look. Okay, let me just go back into the screen. Okay, and John, you're up. Okay, so John sent this in, and it was. Have you got the details there, Brett? I'll send them over to you. Okay, just let me have a look. I'll just see if I can quickly shoot this up and have a quick look. And obviously, it's we had a great photo walk at the Botanical Gardens last weekend, and frogs were basically on display at will. There was no problems in getting any shots, really. It's pretty good. Now, John shot this with a Tamron lens, I believe. And there goes Brett again. He's gone on me again. Yeah, we knew this was going to be a big problem with his internet connection, so yeah. I'm just trying to find the details, but I can't find them right now, John. I'm sorry. Okay, I've got to hang up on Brett again, which is becoming a fairly common thing right now. Okay. Well, again, Brett, bring us up for the last segment anyway, so that way we can get it all finished here. And, how you going, Bill? I haven't seen you in a while here. How are you going? I'm sure your university work is almost coming. You've got a break now, haven't you? You've been finished now. Hey, it's Fredo, says Lauren. Okay, so how about if I go into the CCing and just but if I bring this in a bit closer, and I will reduce us to almost nothingness, so people can take a good deep look at this. Bring this up a bit. I've just realised, John, there's actually a frog just looking over the leaf on the right hand side there. So you got more than just the two frogs. You've got actually more than that. So yeah, what I'm seeing here is I would have wanted these frogs to be more centric. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I'm getting used to it. You know, like holding the fort is a good word for it. And Riss is saying peekaboo. Anyway, we're just going to roll on with the show. We knew this was going to be a very fast and very cumbersome disconnection show, and I'm hoping that next week we can have this all sorted and solved. I'm pretty sure Brett is running around right now with his ears flapping, trying to get it all sorted. Now with this image, as I said, these two frogs are the focus or the centric part of the image, and they're a little bit squeezed up to the left hand side, and I would love them to have a little bit more space, like a little bit more space in the frame, but it's also just I can see that you were trying to keep that frog that's looking over the leaf in, but in a way I would have maybe sacrificed that frog, or I would have cropped in or cropped the other two frogs out, because I don't know which way to look now, if I'm looking at the two frogs or am I just looking at the one frog. And there you go, Brett is just saying that he's waiting for his internet to come back online. If people don't know, Brett lives in a rural area, and yeah, it's just terrible how his internet connection is going. Yeah, that's all I can say about this image. I mean, it's the tonal range looks good. There's no problems there. If I just bring up the histogram. Oops, there it goes. I stuffed up again. There you go. Just 1 second, guys. Just got to click Brett back into the show. How you going, Brett?
Hello.
Hello again. I lost because you rung. It actually just jumped out of the review section.
Oh, right. Yep. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go. So this is John's shot, and I was just mentioning the composition. I would have wanted a bit more space behind the left-hand frog's back.
Yeah.
And maybe crop that section in, just to get that happening a bit better. Yeah, what do you think about this, Brett?
Well, I was listening on my mobile phone using the mobile phone data on the show, so that's why you see me in the pop
keeping up with
the
it.
chat. Yeah, ADL is really sucking right at the moment. I don't know what to go with. I'm figuring it's either my router having troubles or the phone line itself. So I won't know until Monday. But anyhow, look, I can see what John was trying to do with this shot. Yeah, he is not really sort of focusing on the two frogs, but as you mentioned, there was a third frog on the right-hand side of the image.
Yeah.
And then you got this big seed flower in amongst in the middle. So I can, I don't know. I would have to see what other images he's got on that, because I had similar images from the ones that there was like 9 frogs going up one lead or leaf, and it was hard to figure out which one I like best. But I noticed with people that when they shot that particular image, they shot it in a way that the whole branch was going from one corner to the bottom of the frame to the top corner, like this image that John's got here, where I'm talking about the other ones with the 9 frogs. I actually rotated my camera so it was horizontal and got the whole lot. So when you
so you shot down the stem.
Yeah, sort of down the stem, but you can see the whole thing, but it was in portrait rotation. If that makes sense. So,
I mean, to me, this is really interesting, going to this botanical garden and going there on repetitive basis, because the plant life there changes, with the flowering and etc. or what goes on during the seasons. And also these frogs, they change as well. And sometimes you see none of these frogs. Sometimes you see them just in the growth spurt, where they go from like a small fingernail size, and they go to this size where they actually almost look like a thumb size. And they also got different colors. Each frog has got a different color on them. You can just see the pattern on these 2 frogs. But they also go into this bronze look. They actually got a bronzy kind of look as well. So they're all individual frogs and all got individual colors.
I've got an app for frogs, and the one with the bronzy was there's more photos of the bronze color, and these ones with the stripe going down over the top of the leg, from the eye all the way from the top of the leg to the back. And that's why when I posted some of these images, as Ruth said, Eastern dwarf tree frogs. So there's so many different variety, but I wasn't really quite sure, but that's what it seems like. But yeah, look, John, I love this, and I suppose I would love any others. I do like the little on the right hand side with the frog is sort of just got his eye poking out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I didn't even see it until I brought this picture up just now. Brett.
Yeah. But what I would have done is to I would have highlighted more of the 2 on the left and the 1 on the right, and that's when you're using your radial mask and just sort of give them a bit more pop to them, like as I mean in brightness, and so they will be a bit brighter and overall of the picture itself, so you can actually, because remember I always talk about that your eye always go to the highest, to the lightest part of the image, to the brightest part of the image. So if you can make those frogs, put a radial mask around them and just bring up the brightness. I'm not talking about exposure, I'm talking about brightness. And bring them out a bit more, so they seem to pop.
Yeah, just highlight them a bit more, make them pop a little bit more. I mean, I'm just gonna show people what brightness actually does on in Capture One, and that sort of helps a little bit. That bumps it up a little bit, but it really. I mean, I'm also pushing up the actual the blacks as well.
You're doing that in global setting.
Yeah, I'm doing it global.
Yeah.
But you know how to do that, John, I'm sure, where you actually isolate and you basically just get a just isolate it here. I think we're losing Brett again. Yeah, so something like that, and then you can isolate it that way, and then you can create layers, etc., and just go on with it. Now I'm just gonna go on with the next image. Hang on, I'll bring up. Which other one was yours, John? I'm just thinking now. I think it was this one. Was this yours, John? We lost Brett again, so I'm just going to wait for him to come back on again while I'm going to keep the fortress going. Keep the fort going. Now, with this shot, this is the bird of paradise, and we spotted the sprinkler systems coming on there, and everyone sort of had a go at capturing the water falling over the bird of paradise, and there was also like a spider web there right next to it with a spider in it, yeah, it was really interesting of the captures that people took from this one flower. Now, what I'm saying is that it's interesting. It's interesting to, if you are there and you are shooting images like this, do try variations of shutter speed and try and drag the shutter maybe a little bit more. Now this was probably 1/60th of a second or so, and you could have maybe just tried maybe pushing it a little bit more to 1/50th or 1/25th of a second even, and just getting the streaks, the water streaks maybe running a bit more. It is just sort of like a taste thing where you just look and see what looks really good or doesn't. Also, when you shoot these sort of flowers and you got the water, so the more you step away, and if you got a zoom and you get closer to it, or you stand further back, the more water you'll get in between the lens and the flower. So you'll just have more water actually coming down. And of course, if you would have maybe even a flash or a strobe and you could light that up, you would just have more, or you can do like a background strobe and actually strobe the water that's rushing down from the background. And I know it wouldn't have been possible here. There was just too much water. You would have just saturated your strobe. But if you backlight water, it actually brings up the actual, much more water. You'll actually see the raindrops, etc. Just a trick. And I can't see Brett calling me back yet, so I'm just gonna keep going. Okay, so there. Oh, John shot this at 1/1000th of a second. That's really interesting that you still had rain streaks instead of droplets, so that's interesting. Yeah. And Riss just said that she actually shot the sprinkler. What did you get? Did your camera grab focus on the actual sprinkler system instead of a flower? And was ISO 100, says John. Yeah, thanks for that, John. Well, thanks for showing us these images. The only other thing you could have maybe done is maybe zoom out a little bit more and give it a bit more space on the left-hand side. Again, it's a bit like the frogs. And, the more time you spend on something like this, the more capturing you can do. I know there were a few tree trunks in the background, so you could have maybe isolated the flower a bit more, but if you want the green in the backdrop, there's no harm done. But there was also a tree, so if you would have repositioned yourself and had the big tree trunk in the background, it would have been the black and the water would have shown more. Yeah, and that's and then John said it is cropped and he'll redo it. Yeah, it's just sort of like it's a testing period when you get a chance to shoot rain. It's really interesting what you can actually gather. And Riss deliberately photographed the sprinkler. And Lauren, great news, completely random, but I just got asked if I wanted to have a paid photo shoot for someone. Yeah, well, there you go, Lauren. Going into pro work now. Yeah, great news. And where are you, Brett? You're waiting for your computer to reboot, or your system to come back online. Okay, so let's go on to Riss's image, spiderweb. And I don't know why today all my images are really small. So Maybe if I can just get them to. Maybe if I can get them to. Yeah, I can't do it right now. I would have to muck around for too long. Yeah, so let's get on with this and let's see. Okay, Brett's coming back again for the last time. I think we're gonna shoot through this very fast now.
Yeah.
Brett again.
I'm over this.
And Riss is saying this is the closest that she'll go to a spider. Yeah. Now, it's an interesting picture. I mean, the angle of the spider web is interesting. If anything, I would maybe crop out a little bit more on the right-hand side. Get rid of that waist. You got a little bit of waist there. You know, just want to get a bit more close and personal with it. What do you think, Brett?
Yeah, still trying to catch up here.
Yeah, sure.
It's so delayed at the moment. It's not funny.
I just Riss's spider web.
Yeah. I don't know.
I've just cropped in a little bit. So
righty.
you can sort of
Okay,
get an
I
idea what
can
this
see
looks
that
like.
one now. Yeah, interesting. But there's no spot.
I don't know. I can't zoom it to a decent frame. It's either this or it just jumps straight away into something like this.
Spider webs are very hard to photograph because depending on what aperture you're using, because you can only focus on one spot if you're open wide. You need to, if you're going to do spider webs, you need to go to a smaller aperture and try and get the whole scene, because it's just a really busy scene. You know, it's like trying to open your aperture, shut down your aperture in a rainforest scene, and when it's just so busy, you just can't isolate one thing. So, look, it's a nice shot and that and so forth. It's they're in trial, guys. You know, and it comes down to you what image that you like when you shoot. It's very hard to do CC on something like that and be creative. Obviously, spider webs will come out more with dark scenes behind it.
Yeah, I just had that cropped in, Brett, and I've just changed it again to what the image actually looks like. So, you know, just that right-hand side there, I would have wanted to sort of like eliminate that a little bit. I mean, you can get really nice and close and up personal. In this case, I would think that if you crop in, it doesn't hurt actually cutting away the edges of the spider web. You can really get in there, and it's just more the pattern that's really interesting.
Yeah, the
spider webs.
Well, the way you cropped it too, that's interesting, because that makes me think of Instagram. You know, so the square.
As an Instagram, you can square it. I think it's set for Instagram here. Yeah, 4x5. Yeah.
Yep. So, but
it just jumps in and does that. Yeah.
I just got to ask Lauren, why did she decline the offer? So.
She said it was a random person that actually came in, or off the street. So.
Okay.
Probably didn't feel comfortable with that.
Okay, right. Fair enough.
But no problems, Lauren. I mean, you should really maybe have a go. You know, like, I mean, if you shoot that person in public, there shouldn't be any problem. I mean, I wouldn't do it at home because you just don't know that person. Yeah. So focusing on spider webs and the spider is very difficult. Yes, and it is because the spider web moves in and out.
Yeah.
So. Again, if you got an A9 or something like that, so you can do 20 frames a second. Yeah. That really helps. A fast shutter speed obviously helps. And just shoot spider webs on a non-windy day. Yep. You know, try and eliminate the wind. And shoot have the sun hopefully in the back of in your back. So it actually lights up the spider web.
Yeah, I was actually thinking if you have this flash, on the wireless commander, then put your flash down
Yeah,
below.
you can do that.
Behind, and that'll highlight your spider web, and that'll allow you to freeze any movement and close your shutter aperture down too.
Yeah.
So that's
I mean, you
the
just
way
got to
doing.
be careful because they're highly reflective. So if you use a strobe or a flash, you might actually get too much light on these. So it's worthwhile trying and testing it. Yeah. So try again. But I do actually like this image. It's different. It's on an angle, well taken. You weren't lying down for this one, Russ, were you? There was a bit of an accident there on the Photowalk where Russ was lying down on the ground and someone didn't see her. But anyway, it's just an insider.
She's all good though.
Yeah, she survived. We fed her afterwards, so she was okay. And here's this is an interesting picture with Mike Palmer in it. I don't know if Mike has actually chimed in and is seeing this at all, but here is Mike, and Riz took this image. Interestingly enough, she decided to make this black and white.
This is the one she's laying down. Yes. So yeah. And
the only thing I can say about this picture is that you got to be very careful. Keep the foot in. It's decapitated on the bottom. It's cropped away. What do you think, Brett?
Well, I'm just waiting for the image to come up again.
Oh, you still can't see it. Oh my god. Okay. Now, what I can see with this, I mean, the focus is correct. It's sharp. The only thing I don't like about this is maybe that the foot decapitated, and also that the bush on the side, that bit of hedging. It's sort of like it's making me look there all the time for some reason. So you could really be harsh with this and really crop in deeply. I don't know if the square frame of the entrance there, the Japanese entrance. I mean, this is a red frame. But if that would be maybe if you crop that in a bit more, maybe that might work.
Look, one thing I did find, I was shooting with the 135 in this particular time, and I wasn't far enough to get the whole thing in for the outside of the temple sort of entrance thing there. So I ended up shooting more just him inside that. You couldn't see any of that temple. I'm finding the way you're laying down is interesting. I think you were trying to get more him and to look more dominant in the shot in a way. I'm not quite sure, but cropping in what Mark's doing now sort of works more. So just got to be very careful when using long lenses. You're going to have to even I found that where I was getting these similar shots, the temple, the framing around him in the temple was all going wonky, and that was very surprising that they weren't straight or anything and so forth. And I just sort of said, no.
I just think the way it's actually designed there, the way they had the entrance, and then you had that one path on the one side and then the other path going up. It was a bit hard to get this image correct. Yeah.
So, look, I just felt at the end of the day, at this particular shot, because there was two pathways coming into where Mike is, a shorter, like a 55, or playing around with a 70 or 24 to 70, and within that range, and picking it out. But anything you got a framing like this timber thing of the Japanese, I don't know what you call them, but you must be you cannot be on an angle. You've got to be 90 degrees to that, and otherwise you're going to get some sort of warping.
But it's just, I mean, that's when you have to be content aware of what you are framing in and what you've got in there. So always let your eyes go around the edge of your frame, or what you're seeing, and just have a look around the frame. Don't worry about what's happening in the center, because you know that's that's in focus, that's fine, but then concentrate on what's around it, and even if you step to the side a little bit, you walk around a little bit with your camera, you can't make the talent move around. It's not going to help. But if you would have maybe moved over to the right a little bit more, and there were ways. I mean, because I was on the footpath near you, Brett, when I was shooting this, and then I moved down. So I was constantly moving around and getting different angles and all that. And what I'm seeing in Photowalks, a lot of people, they stand still in one spot, and they don't move around. They don't try different angles. And it would be good if just have a go and try a different angle, maybe shoot several frames like this. That's okay, and then move over to the next angle and just create something else.
One thing I'll say about this, because she was laying down, you see the foreground, and because Mike is down below that foreground that we see. If she was standing up, she would see the background where that path was going in the background. That would have created leading lines in the back part of the So I don't think the black and white really works into this, because Mike is black and white. I'm not saying he's black and white in the image, but the fact that his suit and his belt is black and white, he's blending into the background. So he's sort of getting lost. So if you're going to do this black and white, you need to play around with your color sliders.
I mean, you would need something like a faster prime lens, like a 1.4 or something like that, just to blur out the background a bit, and then you would be okay with this black and white.
But I mean, look, this is part of the reason why everybody's putting their photos up for critiquing, is that they're having to go, and
absolutely.
And,
I mean, sharpness wise and everything. I mean, it's in focus. I'll just get really close now in personal, but you can see how well that lens is doing. It's pretty good. It's full on. Which lens was this? Okay, so
that was the U Sigma.
84 mil 1.4 was on camera.
Was it 80? Okay, I thought she was using the.
You mean the 85 1.4?
Oh, she was using 80. Yeah. Okay, I thought she was using the Sigma. But anyhow, no.
There you go. So it's but it's, I mean, it's again, this is all character building when you shoot stuff like this. I mean, this is it's not every day that you shoot karate images and all that, and sometimes it's good to know the actual sport and when to take the picture, because there are certain positions and stances that are important for the people in the know, and they want to see particular images when they're standing in a certain position. And having a bit of knowledge about that is really interesting, and makes sense. And when you see sports photographers that specialize in one field, they had something to do with that field in the past.
Yeah.
Before they started shooting all that. So they were either professional in that sport, and so they know what to look for and they know when to shoot.
Yeah.
But it's interesting nevertheless. It's you don't stop learning in photography. There's always something else to shoot.
Yeah.
It was wonderful to watch. I almost forgot to take photos. Okay. So keep at it, Riz. I mean, yeah, your images are improving all the time. Same with John's, like it's, what can I say? And last but not least, this is another one of Riz's images. It just seems like we're getting a lot of repeat customers, Brett. Unfortunately, there's not many other people that are putting their,
I don't think
pictures
a lot of people are confident enough yet to show their images on YouTube. Because
I mean, it's guys, don't forget, we're not here to backstab anyone about the images or anything like that. We're just trying to help, to improve your technique and your work, So, but sometimes it does. I mean, who are we? We're just photographers. We like everyone has got a different kind of shooting process, and they're seeing pictures in a different way. So you don't know what we say is even relevant at times. So.
Yep.
Okay. So what do you think about this shot now, Brett?
I like it. I feel that the leaf is sort of in the way of the shot, but I mean, this is nature. So we can't say, hey, frog, can you change your position or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. Just like any other, with birds and that. As we keep
I'm just laughing because it's something that I always say in my mind. Every time I see a bird or a frog or something like that, I always go, oh my God, if that leaf wouldn't be in the way, or God, like this would be an amazing shot, and there's nothing you can do about
today.
it.
I went out and took the kids out for a ride in the park today, and I took my 70-200 and A73, and I found these lorikeets. I think they were lorikeets, not quite sure. They're smallish, colourful bird with a blue head, red feathers and stuff like that, and green. Every time I was trying to look for a shot, they will always somehow get you where they're in shade, and I'm going, I'm trying to get them, the light on them, the sunlight on them, so I had to keep changing the position because they were all on the grow all the time. It's really frustrating. You've got to have patience. So same thing with a frog, they don't move at all once they see you there, and they're going to just stay there and look and stare at you. So,
wasn't he supposed to be in this review, Riz, this frog? Well, nevertheless, we've got him in here if that's okay. So it's a white-lipped tree frog. Yes. Now, the reason why I'm putting that red arrow there is just wondering if it would have been possible for you, Riz, to take a few steps over to the right, and just that would have cleared the leaf, and it would have gotten rid of that one leg of the frog that's blurred. Its right hand front leg. Now that would have been maybe a better outcome if you would have just moved. It would have only been a matter of a couple of feet to the side. But again, we weren't there, and you don't know how much space you've got to shoot this. And
then again, she could have closed down the aperture there a bit too to get both eyes in focus.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about the leaf, like if you would have moved a little bit, it could have maybe helped you.
But also too, the other thing is too, I was just thinking that even she moved to the right and shot from the left side or the right side of the frog and do a side shot
Yep.
That would have been another feature that she could have tried and see what she got. So yeah, there's just a few other things that you can do. So yeah,
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
always
there's
always
certain
think
things that
that
you can do. You can
shoots
push your
straight on all the
contrast here a
time.
little bit, maybe. Sorry, Brett.
That's no problem. Yeah, not without getting in the way of the dog was having his dinner. Okay.
Is that usual that you take your dog for dinner to frogs? It's very disturbing. Anyway,
Yeah.
you can push contrast a little bit on this. So, I mean,
Yeah.
if you push contrast a little bit, I don't know if people know what it does. Yes, it darkens the image a little bit, a slight bit, but it also makes the actual the talent or whatever you're shooting pop a little bit more. It makes it more three-dimensional looking.
Yeah.
So it brings it more to the foreground, and it sort of like you got a bit more foreground to background separation that way with contrasting. And also, I would have maybe just brought the brightness down a little bit more.
Yeah, the left corner, top corner, I was just thinking that my eye was leading to there because it was brighter. So
Yeah.
yeah, radial mask, tone the background a
Yeah,
bit
exactly.
down and bring the radial mask up
Yeah.
around the vlog.
I mean, it's probably important that people learn to do like more detailed work, you know.
Yep. Yeah.
What will this look like if I saturate the greens a bit more?
Yeah. Yeah, don't be afraid, guys. You know, just because you get something out of your camera and then that's what you deal with. And you say, oh, okay, I'll accept that. And, you know, we all know if you're shooting in RAW, you've got to process that image. So far, we've seen a lot of people know how to do that. That's not a problem. But it's enhancing the image a bit more and concentrate on your subject. How do you enhance that image to make your subject pop out more or give it the look that you want? Is there a certain look that you like in photography? Is there a certain way about you want to have a certain style and look in your photography? That's what you've got to think about. Whether you go artistically or do you go editorial sort of looking, whatever you do.
I mean, it's no harm when you actually look at images in your editing program. If you've got a proper editing program like Lightroom or Capture One, just be aggressive with your sliders. Really push them to the side and just see what it does. You know, like, I mean, it probably goes too far, and when it goes too dark, it will go too dark. But you'll sort of see which way is trending better, in a way. Maybe I'm just doing this a little bit too extreme, but I'm just turning around and saying, well, just, you know, move all your main sliders, like your exposure and your high dynamic ranges, just move them around a little bit, you know, and just go a little bit more extreme than what you would usually do in your adjustments, just to see what it actually does. And you'll get a better performing edit in the end. Like, even if you push the blacks, you know, like if you go further than what you usually do and you just bring the blacks all the way down, well, you know, like that might work, you know, but it's because this image is a JPEG, Brett, it's not going to work. I can't really edit this really well. But in RAW, you will see a big difference when you're actually doing a RAW edit. As you guys,
you can see when he's dropping the blacks in here, the frog starts to come out more dominant in the frame. Look, another thing, guys, I would love to do online editing to show you what you guys can do in simple edits and stuff to improve your shots, but it ain't gonna happen while I've got internet like this. And
I mean, Sharon was just saying do a vignette. So with Capture One, you can basically create something in a few steps. You can actually create this, but what you do is you right click and you invert the mask, in the layer. So then the actual mask is only concentrating what's happening on the outside. So then you actually just bring the exposure down, and then you create a vignette that way. So there you go. So then you got to, I mean, this is just a rough. I mean, you can always move this around and play with it, but this is how you vignette in Capture One.
Yep.
Just to give you guys an idea. So that already makes the frog pop a lot more from the background as well.
Yep.
But this is only a real rough. I'm just showing this in a real rough way.
Yeah, so you can see what Mark's done. He's gone overboard with it, but he's showing you what how it looks. Because YouTube doesn't give us high resolution playback to see what really goes on in the final adjustments when you're doing editing in Lightroom or Capture One.
Yeah, it's I mean, it's very hard to do this in the live show, and I think I'm going to do a fair few videos in the future. And they've been coming for quite some time now, so definitely going to be doing some of that. You know, so, but it's it is always worthwhile testing your software and just see where it actually gets you. I mean, in this case, I wouldn't have even done that. I would have probably gotten the brush, and I would have brushed that in. I'll just show you quickly. Just go a little bit up in size, and then basically just brush in the frog. So whatever you brush goes red. So don't let the color fool you, but this is more like you will actually get more detailed work in this. And again, you can invert this. So when you invert this, you'll everything that's red will not be touched. And
the red is the mask.
Yeah, so the red is the mask. And you can erase with this as well. So you can go to this, it's got an eraser on the side there. So you can actually erase your spill. Like if you spill too much, you can just get rid of that. But I'm just being very quick here just to show people how to do a quick edit. But now you've got this frog red, and then when you actually go into your adjustment layer again and invert the mask again, then you've basically got everything else will be red, and the frog will not. So when you actually go into exposure and we drag that down a little bit, you know, so you basically got a vignette, but it's much more detailed now because the actual frog is only highlighted and there's no halo around the frog.
Yep.
But the more I mean, it's I've just done this really quick, you know, like I mean, there's a lot more work that you can do with this and add or remove. As you can see there, you can just add more. So it's, you know, like there's no problems and there's no hurry in doing the edit. As long as you just take your time. You can zoom in if you like and just do a little bit more detailed work there, and maybe just go with a finer brush. Bring the brush down, and then you can just do that a lot finer, and you know, just do a little bit more detail around here, and you can just sort of see the red appearing. And that's how it goes roughly. I'm not gonna keep dwelling on it. The show can go on forever. But just to give guys an idea of how you're supposed to edit properly in a proper way.
This is one reason why we don't do live editing, because it's just so much involved and so many different ways you can do it. So and usually any videos on YouTube, it's usually done pre-recorded. We don't have enough time to do in live shows.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even want to go this far and actually show an edit here because it's. But I just thought it might just help people to sort of see how we establish this sort of stuff, and also what I should maybe mention is now that you've got that, if you got this outer layer of red, you can actually also use that to get rid of noise. So you slide your noise reduction all the way, and then it will actually it won't touch the frog, but it will give you noise reduction in the background. So if you've got a noisy or high ISO and you want to get rid of noise in the background and it doesn't touch the frog, but you will have a more smooth looking picture. Okay, guys? So there you go. That was an intro into a 101 very quick edit of how we do it. And we've lost Brett again, so he's gone into freeze mode again. Just if you can come back one more time, Brett, and we'll just do our final goodbyes and everything, because I think this was the last image, and I'll just go back into our how about we go into the comment box and just bring up the comments again. And guys, I would like to know what you all think about where the show should go, and you know, like it can go to hell, but I don't want to hear that. I just want to know what direction the show should go, and what you all would like to hear more about, or if you would like to see more of this kind of editing, or us talking more about news. It really depends on you as an audience of what interests everyone. The name's Frog, James Frog, I believe, is loaded. Yeah. So I'm not 100% sure. Are you going to come back, Brett? Let me know. Will you ever come back? Obviously, this takes some time for Brett to restart his computer or his router. So we just got to give him a few moments. Has anyone got any questions about editing, or like if they're not 100% sure, just let us know. I've just been hearing a lot of people use their older laptops, like the older version of MacBook Pros, etc. And with the older versions of MacBook Pros, you've got to be very careful that when you do the editing and you upload the images, they come up usually a little bit darker to what you were thinking these images were going to be. Yeah, it's got something to do with the older versions of MacBook Pro. And here he is again. How you going, Brett? This is the last time. After that, you're gonna be I'm gonna fire you. Oh, you got noise. You got a speaker running or something like that, Brett?
Yeah, hang on.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, so Riss says that she runs Lightroom 5, so she's way behind. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's, you know, nowadays with a lot of software, you have to, yeah, you got to do your monthly payments. You got to be,
and you can't get away
subscribed.
from that. If to use the latest, like Capture One, Lightroom PS. Sky, Luminar, you know, all them. You just gotta. There's no outright now anymore. It's all descriptions. So
yeah,
you can't
I think
get away from
yeah. So if you can't import the A99 raw files, what people might not know is that Capture One has got a light version. It's called Capture One Express, and it's for free. If you want to try and download that,
that's for
and
Sony.
try it out. That's for Sony, cameras. So maybe that will support your raw files.
Yeah.
So that's. But again, it's a bit of a learning curve to learn Capture One. If you're used to Lightroom, you might have to sort of like spend a few hours just learning the different it's more the actual positions of where the sliders are and all that, just and file handling is a little bit different. But apart from that, I mean, if it's a free program, and maybe try it out.
Yeah.
And so there you go. Lauren is on her way home, and they are all watching Queensland. Lauren.
Are we talking about the AFL or one of them things?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Wasn't that on last night, though?
I mean, look, pretty
AFL?
soon we'll have Melbourne Cup, the horse racing, that's going to come up here as well. There won't be anything left down there in Melbourne. Like we're going to have the tennis is going to come up here, the Australian Open. Like
We've got the cricket coming up.
Melbourne had it too good for too long. Formula One, we've got to bring all that up here. All that is coming up to Queensland.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm joking. I mean, I'm wishing Victorians all the best with their reopening again, and they're getting closer and closer now. There's less and less occurrences of the COVID.
Yeah.
Okay, rugby is on now, so there you go. That's another final, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So with that, I think we can say our goodbyes. I mean, it's been a good show, and we're just on 2 hours, Brett. How's that?
Yeah, with me going in and out, and like there was no tomorrow. Sorry about that, guys. But
we managed it, so it was okay.
Hopefully next Sunday, this will be all sorted out, and and we can show you more things and stuff. So yeah.
I have a dog nose on my iPad. Oh God, Riz. Think he's hungry.
And if I got any coverage while I'm up Mullaney, I might do some bit of live there to show you if I'm taking any interesting photos. So keep an eye out if I do.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. If people want to know the costs and all that are involved, again, you got to go online and have a look and see if it suits you. You cannot forget that there are going to be free instructors, plus Maurice is going to be there as well. Is that right? So you got the Queensland sales rep there as well. So there will be a fair few discounts as well. And we lost Brett again, which is really timely because we are now switching off. And I hope everyone had a good show this time around, even though we had to carry Brett a little bit. But look, it's all being hopefully repaired by tomorrow, and we can actually have a normal show maybe next weekend. So guys, with that, I'm going to sign off, and Brett can't wave, he's frozen, so it's just a frozen image. I'm just going to leave him there now. So guys, let's hope for Brett's sakes that we can get that fixed and sorted, and he's going to have less headaches next time. Okay guys, and wishing you all a nice week and good shooting as well. Okay, so take care and good night.